Hopefully the Beavers don't have PTSD to last weekend. Well, that inning and some of the opportunities the Beavers have had today have looked starkly like their series against Utah. Now Tarney Steptoe out against the top of the Cal lineup to put up another goose egg on the board. Tatum Anzaldo fouls that off and is behind 0-1. Beavers lost Saturday and Sunday last week by a run apiece. Saturday left the bases loaded, down by a run. Madison Clark fouled out to end the game. Sunday was ahead 5-4 in the 10th inning and coughed up an extra innings loss with 2 runs for Utah in the bottom of the 10th. And OSU, the tying run at third base, Abidor strikes out here today in a pivotal Game 3. Both teams looking for the first conference win of the season. 1-1 on Tatum Anzaldo. A double, a walk, and a strikeout. Today, strike 2 on the outer edge. Brutal stretch after today for Oregon State. They want to nab this series win. Stanford next week, Oregon the week after, UCLA the week after that. That didn't miss inside by much. Ball 2-1, or 2-2. Washington after UCLA, then at Arizona, then home at Arizona State to finish the season. The 2-2. Strike 3 called. 4 consecutive strikeouts for Tarney Steptoe. She's up to 8. She struck out the side in the 6th inning. Deanna Johnson struck out. Deasia Psyche struck out. Kennedy Thomas struck out to end the inning. And her 4th consecutive K of Tatum Anzaldo. We'll bring up McKenna Smith. The dual sport athlete steps in. Smith ahead 1-0. Hitless day for McKenna Smith as Des Rivera jogs out from behind the plate to talk to Tarney. Smith walked in the 3rd, otherwise a sacrifice bunt in the 5th and a fielder's choice in the 1st. Cal just a 1-run lead for how these two teams have swung the bat this series. 1 run, a small margin. And we look for Oregon State coming up in the 7th. Well, Frankie Hamoudi's scheduled to come up along with Grace Messmer and Kaea Higa. Middle 3 of the Oregon State order, 2, 3, and 4. Want to know on Smith? Tarney rocks and fires. Ball 2. Update on some of those Pac-12 scores. Utah has cut into the Arizona lead. It's 11-8 Arizona in the top of the 5th. Utah on the bases loaded. Strike for Tarney on the outer edge, 2-1. Oregon continues to lead Stanford 1-0, bottom 4 down in Eugene. Well, now 2-1. Bottom 4 changes as we're talking. UCLA a run ahead of Washington, bottom 4. It's 3-2 Bruins. Breaking ball misses away from Tarney. It's 3-1 on McKenna Smith. I'm curious, softball-wise, how UCLA acclimates to the Big Ten. Well, they are far and away the best program in the Big Ten as soon as they enter. Such a unique scenario in that case. You think of the other conference realignments when it comes to other sports. UCLA baseball as well in the Big Ten will instantly become the best program in the Big Ten Conference, both baseball and softball-wise. And you blink your eye, yes, the Southern California roots. Now the question is, USC, historically great, nothing on the softball diamond. Baseball-wise, though, even with the 12 national championships, USC has been middling in baseball for decades. McKenna Smith on a 3-2 count, grounds that into left for a base hit. The streak of 4 consecutive strikeouts snapped for Tarney Steptoe, and Acacia Anders, the shortstop, will bat. Unless she won't. Well, she will bat. We'll have a pinch runner for McKenna Smith. It's going to be Amanda Kondo off the bench. Haley Archer, quick conversation with Anders in the on-deck circle. Haley keeping the coat on, getting ready to come back out for the bottom of the 7th inning. It's Chelsea Spencer and the home plate umpire converge. So will Tarney and Eric Leba in the third base coaching box. But it's just so interesting to see how UCLA will instantly insert itself into the Big Ten Softball Conference and be the prohibitive favorite to win the conference every single year. Not like they aren't in the Pac-12. But in the Pac-12, you have other great programs with multiple national championships. You have Arizona, you have Washington, you have Oregon, you have ASU, who has 2 national championships to their name, Cal, a national championship to their name. But you go into the Big Ten, and slim pickings when it comes to that. There won't be much resistance, per se, for UCLA. And not to totally make this a trash on the Big Ten, but the Pac-12 is historically the best softball conference. If you look at national championships, there is one Big Ten program all time who has won a national championship. That was Michigan back in the 2000s. That's it. The 0-1. Strike 2. So you go from a conference with 24 combined national championships to a conference with a combined, outside of your own, 1. Just an interesting dynamic. Of course, these conference realignments are all about football. And hey, how UCLA football will fit into the Big Ten, well, we'll just have to see. The 0-2, that's upstairs. USC should be just fine, competing with the likes of Michigan, Penn State, Ohio State. Michigan State on a good year. But it's the other sports where you really raise an eyebrow and see, well, that's interesting. We'll just leave it at that. 1 ball and 2 strikes. Rolled off the foot of Anders. Was in fair territory, but she didn't make any effort to get out of the box. 1 ball and 2 strikes. Now in the softball world, if we're talking conference realignment, Oklahoma softball in the SEC, a fantastic addition. Talking about adding the greatest modern softball program, swing and a miss, strike 3. That is the 8th strikeout for Tarney, or the 9th strikeout for Tarney Steptoe in the 5th in the last 6 batters for Tarney. Now she'll face Casey Zobak with 2 outs. Both Texas and Oklahoma premier softball programs facing off in the national championship last year. Both added to the SEC in a very strong softball conference as well. So that a little bit more of a natural fit than UCLA in the Big Ten. Tarney being careful with Casey Zobak, who's homered 3 times in this series. He's 2 for 3 on the day with 3 RBIs. Doubled her last time up in the 5th, homered in the 3rd. Tries the outside corner again, misses. 2-0. Now UCLA in the Big Ten with basketball, a seamless fit. If we're going to talk about one sport where UCLA really will thrive in the new conference realignment, basketball-wise, they should be doing okay. Well, the Big Ten not really having a good NCAA tournament this time around. Only 2 Big Ten teams alive as of this morning in the NCAA tournament, as well as, well, only UCLA in the Pac-12. Kansas State is not a Big Ten school. Michigan State and Marquette today. Steptoe walks Casey Zobak. She'll issue a free pass. And the Golden Bears have 2 on with 2 out. And Sona Halajian will step to the plate in a meeting on the mound for Oregon State. Jamie Wiggins will jog out and have a quick conversation with Tarney, trying to get that final out here in the 7th inning. So only Michigan State and Indiana alive for the Big Ten, a conference they got 8 tournament bids this year. But if Indiana and Michigan State bow out today, the Big Ten will have 8 teams in and 8 teams out in one weekend, even for a conference like the Pac-12, which put 4 teams into the tournament, only 1 remaining. UCLA is still alive. UCLA beating Northwestern yesterday by 5. Will advance to the Sweet 16 as the Pac-12's lone representative. Both Oregon State and Cal missing the tournament. The bottom 2 seeds in the men's tournament. Halajian homered yesterday. She has walked, struck out, and grounded out today. Steptoe, the 1-0. Ball 2. Cal leading by 1. Can extend that lead here against Tarney Steptoe, just trying to fight through the 7th inning. Beavers needed all 7 innings out of her today. And a chance to win it in the bottom of the 7th. Smith at second. That's Kondo at second, the pinch runner, and Zobak at first. Check swing, strike. 2 balls and 1 strike, and Chelsea Spencer asking, was that on the swing or the pitch? And Steve Wilson said, on the pitch. The 2-1. Breaking ball, strike 2. 2 balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs in the top of the 7th. Beavs need this out here. Bring up 2, 3, and 4 in the Beaver order in the bottom half of the frame. Steptoe's got 9 strikeouts. Can she punch out 10? Two-two, chopped right back to Tarney. Goes to first, out number 3. What a job by Tarney Steptoe to get out of the jam in the 7th. She looks gassed, but she strands 2 runners on the base paths, and the Beavers a chance to tie and win in the bottom half of the 7th. Will the Beavers win this series? We'll know next. In the bottom of the 7th, Cal leads by 1 on the OSU live stream.